Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Sorry about no video yesterday, but I am back from Chicago. I'm fresh off of an amazing weekend. The Chicago celebration was awesome. If you guys are debating on going out to San Diego, I totally recommend it. Super fun weekend. You're going to meet some amazing people in the community. You're going to get some awesome prizing from side events. Totally recommend it. So before we get into the video, this is going to be my tournament report and my deck profile for my 4th place teams, repping Sharon's Lair. We did an awesome job at the tournament. Shout out to Jose, shout out to Marcus, shout out to all my teammates that helped me out. Before we get into the video, guys, if you're new to the channel, definitely hit the sub button, hit that notification bell so you stay up to date with awesome Dragon Ball Super content that I post here. Make sure you check the Discord community in the description below. Amazing group of people rooting me on during my games Saturday and Sunday. Thank you guys so much. And finally, shout out to the Patreon. Check that out in the description below if you want to look for some competitive content or if you want to support the channel. Really helps a lot. Really means the world. So we'll get into this profile and then I'll get into my tournament report. So I chose to play blue Skilless. So if you guys saw a stream a few weeks ago, I was messing around with a yellow Skilless build with World Champion. That was like kind of the ace card of the deck. I wasn't really too happy with it. I didn't think it was good enough competitively. One of the reasons I didn't like it that much because I felt like I couldn't beat Gogeta Shenron, but no one has really been playing Gogeta Shenron for the past few weeks. So this is a great deck to take to the event. Gogeta Shenron has its own slew of issues that get unplayable in the current format, but that's besides the point. So yeah, this deck was a great meta pick if that deck doesn't exist, which right now that deck did not exist. So yeah, I decided to go with blue build because my teammate was playing some vital yellow cards, and if you guys don't know about teams, you cannot play the same cards as your teammates are playing. So yeah, I went with blue build. Actually, I think it's actually better than the yellow build, guys. It lets you be a little more aggressive. I think in the mirror match, the yellow build has the leg up. When you're talking about just the Skilless for Skilless mirror match, I think the yellow has a leg up because it does get more card advantage. But against the rest of the meta, I think that the blue build is much stronger because it lets you aggro when you need to. It lets you play really good defense, especially against Super Shenron. Awakening at 6 and Bean is super important. So just a little bit of a note there. So we'll get into the deck profile. 4 4-star balls. There were only 2 games in all of the, 8 rounds or 9 rounds that we played. In 9 rounds, there were only 2 games that didn't open a 4-star ball. So my odds there were pretty good. I might add a 5th ball in the future, although I saw the balls a lot and it got a little bit clunky. So I like 4, but if I decide in the future I don't want to not open ball ever, I might play the 5th. But yeah, 4 power bursts. For the Goku, this card just absolutely bonkers in the deck. Searching the ball every single turn. The games that this card just sits on the board, you should win. You really should win those games because you're just going to accrue so much value and so many big beaters. The decks that can clear this card give you somewhat of an issue, like Vegeta Baby, like the Green Broly deck. So those are things to look out for. 3 Bonds of Friendship. At first I thought this card was a staple 4 of. This card is definitely not, in my opinion, anymore. I think 3 is totally fine. Honestly, the Kid Goku pop, the Kid Goku comboed away pop with the Android 8. It didn't come up a whole lot this weekend. There weren't many instances where that was relevant, and a lot of times giving up the Goku to pop something is not worth it because you'd rather the Goku just sit there and accrue you more battle cards and more beaters. So, and then the Bonds of Friendship 8 also whiffs a lot. I mean, we're playing, what, 10 vanillas in the deck, so it does whiff a good amount. So 3 is totally fine. I never needed the 4th one. Temporal Rescue Trunks. You really only overrun for Demigra. I mean, you could play the Roshi if you want to, but a lot of times you're going to sit at 6 life in this deck. So honestly, Sparking one's a bit better. 4 Training Buddy Krillin. I don't know why people play 2 of this card. This card is the absolute nuts in this deck. For 2 energy, it lets you go 2 battle cards wide with a 15k beater for 2 drops, really good, and obviously a 2 drop 20k, which is also absolutely nuts. And this card is actually really one of the best cards in the mirror match as well. Being able to remove your opponent's 1-drop Goku from the board because the -5k is really powerful. This card is also really good against Crisis Crushers and Goku. I mean, Crisis Crusher can give your deck, some trouble. Like I said, you want your 1-drop Goku to sit there. Training Buddy Krillin helps that out by removing the Crisis Crusher. And then, once your opponent commits to the board, the Crisis Crusher is no longer a 1-drop. So, they really can't summon it back unless they Child's Wish it. But if they're Child's Wishing a Crisis Crusher, you're in a good spot there. So this card was amazing all weekend. Never drop a card from 4. Beyond Darkest Demigra, this card just wins you your long games as long as you're able to see it. A lot of times the mirror match will come down to this. So super good. I've definitely won some mirror matches by Demigrawing my opponent and taking their Demigra, and it's just kind of over from there. 4 Senzu Bean. This card is probably the reason to play blue versus yellow. Like in this build, you get Senzu Bean, in the yellow build, you get Nimbus. So I like Bean a lot because it helps against the Super Shenron matchups. Awakening at 6, so you have a lot of life left, and then Beaning, so you're at 20, makes a lot of their attacks extra neg. So yeah, it's really good. 3 Borgos. This is what I cut the 4th Android 8 for. So originally I was playing 2 Borgos, and I cut the Android 8 for the 3rd Borgos, and it was an amazing decision. It was really, really good because there were a lot of matchups that was relevant in, especially Super Shenron, because if you play the turn 1 and you go first, let's just say, they're forced to tap out turn 1 for the Crisis Crusher. And while that might not sound crazy, it means that they can't do personal ambition, and stupid things like that. And if they don't open the Crisis Crusher, it's a little bit harder for them to get to it, because they're really only going to search the 2 Dragon Balls and then draw 2 cards. And, you know, they're going to hope they draw it, but if they don't draw it, this card's going to pretty much win you that matchup. So, really, really good. It's really good in the format right now, to be honest with you. And actually also came up against the Slug player that I played in 3rd, 4th place matchup, because he didn't realize my Borgos wasn't really on the board, or what did, I guess, and he used his Slug ability to untap green energy, and then I blew up the energy, and that kind of won me the game from there. So now we have the vanilla package, the 4 Goku and the 2 Vegeta. The reason I play this lineup is because of the 2 at all cost Vegeta, so there was a 4-4 split, since I had Vegeta Hero Revive in the sideboard, which wasn't a huge fan of, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, the just even ratio on Gokus and Vegetas, this was really good. 3 Preface. Preface was super duper good. Shout out to Eric Thompson from last week, who let me do the deck profile with him on his version of Skilless, because this card was an amazing tech option. I didn't play against any Vegeta Baby, which is one of the most relevant matchups for this card, but it did allow me to play really well against some decks like Green Broly especially, and also against Red Vegeta, because it's just a barrier card that they can't pop, and you know, it lets me just keep putting pressure on them every single turn, and this card gets around the 6-drop early, so it was really, really good for that reason. 4 Great Sandman. This is my vanilla of choice. Deborah, Sandman. You can play either one. Sandman's a little more relevant if you decide to side deck Devastator, Black Mass Sand. I don't think the card's that great, because like in long games in the mirror match, it technically just can be a guaranteed damage, but like, I don't know, 1 guaranteed damage. It feels like you do better things with 3 energy, like you know, play the 1-drop Goku and get a 30 beat her out. So that's just my thing with it. I chose not to sideboard it. 2 out of cost Vegeta. This is another card I took from Eric's list that I thought was good originally, but it never really came up. I won 1 game with it, but it was like a situation where I didn't have to play out of cost Vegeta to win game. It did draw me 3 extra cards and, you know, give me more combo power, but in the situation I was in, I didn't need to play it. In the future, I think I'll cut this for either the Keybrah Trunks in the main board, or maybe the 1-drop attacking pans, the 1-drop talent pan. That might be the card that comes in here. The 1 Gotcha Beerus, this was a last-minute recommendation by my teammate Marcus. Shout out to you, Marcus. This was amazing, amazing last-minute decision, amazing tech option, because as long as you have 1 blue energy open, your opponent has to be scared of it if you show it to them once. And it's actually won me a few games. This won me one of my matchups against Broly GT, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But it's super duper good. The 1-up Surprise Attack Frieza. The list I looked at for this did play 2, and I thought it was a cool card because, you know, Android 8 pop something, or beat over something with a 30k beater, you get a free 15k crit on the board. Thought it was cool, but honestly, it didn't really come up a whole lot. You know, the situation where you're beating over other people's battle cards with your beaters didn't come up too much. And I'm glad I had a 1-up, because this card got sided out a lot. So in the future, definitely going to cut this card. I think I'm going to cut the at all costs and the Surprise Attack Frieza for 3 of the 1-drop pan and test that out for a little while. And then 2 Further Instruction Champa. 2 was good. Sometimes I wanted the 3rd, or at least I wanted to see this card more. But 2 was okay. It pretty much was there when it needed to be. We'll go over to the sideboard. So 3 Cronoa. I still respected Shugesh. I ran into 1 Shugesh matchup. I think in teams you gotta respect it more than singles. I think singles, Shugesh is starting to fall out of favor, especially Yellow Broly. But in teams, I think there's gonna be a Shugesh deck a lot of the time. So I chose to run the 3 Cronoa in my side deck, because I think my deck had the least kind of protection against Shugesh. So I did run against Broly Shugesh 1 time. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Haru, this is for those same matchups, but also for the Green Broly matchup. You know, in the Green Broly matchup in this deck, you want to go as wide as possible to bait out their 6-drop and their 8-drop. So I'll talk about that a little bit more later in the tournament report. 2 Mass Sand. This is for the Super Shenron Storm matchups, or any Storm matchups really. Never really decided it in, because I kind of realized throughout the course of the day you don't really need this card for Super Shenron, and it's really awkward to warp your drop area, especially because you want to summon Vanillas from your graveyard, you want to have your Sparking live. So I don't think overall is actually very good in this deck, unless it's the Demigrad that's going to literally win you the game. So 2 Keybrah Trunks, another last minute recommendation by my teammate Marcus. Another great card, because I didn't have access to the Bardock Fully Unleashed, because one of my teammates was playing that. And I didn't have access to Dimensional Banisher Fu, because my other teammate was playing that card. So this card is actually really good, because it gave me more Self-Awakening when I needed it, and it allowed me to, you know, bounce back the 6-drop Monkey, or it allowed me to bounce back the the 8-drop or 6-drop Broly's. It was super good. It was mostly for the Broly matchup. That's what I used it the most because I didn't really face the Red Baby matchup, but this card was super good. 3 Striving. This was for a Super Showdown matchup, and I didn't play against it, so didn't come in really. But in theory, it would have been good. Although it does stop me from attacking with my 2-drop 20Ks. If I can slow the game down enough, my 3-drop 30Ks will win me the game. And then 2 Gogeta 7. This was another kind of parallel to the Demigosh Secret Rare in terms of like really slow matchups or the mirror match. Honestly, wasn't a huge fan of it because the mirror match is so grindy that I was super low on hand by the time we got to turn 5, and they were super low on hand already. So like I had 5 cards in hand, my opponent had 5 cards in hand. I dropped this card and I put them 3 cards in hand, but I also put myself to 3 cards in hand, so it wasn't really worth it. I think in the future this is either going to be the Gogeta 5-drop or it's going to be the U7 Beerus 5-drop because I think that those cards are good in the mirror match. So yeah, that was the deck, guys. Really happy with it. Like I said, a few changes I would make, but this is probably the deck I'm going to play most of the format. I really like it. I think it's really fun. I think it's really skill intensive. I think the deck lets you outplay your opponent in a lot of situations, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So we'll go into the tournament report. So my team composition was this. Marcus was in seat A playing Super Shenron Storm. I'm going to be getting his deck profile throughout this week. Baby Vegeta was played by my teammate Jose at seat B. That was just mono red, and I played this blue black Skilless pile of cards. So round 1 we played against the order I say the teams in, or sorry, the decks in, is going to be A, B, and C. So the last deck I mentioned will be the deck that I played against. So it was Super Showdown Veggies, Red Gogeta, and Mono Green Broly. So we all won all around. Mono Green Broly, like I said before, you got to go really wide in order to get out their 8-drops and 6-drops. If they have the 8-drop and the 6-drop on board, it can be really tough. Luckily, this was a mono green build, so I didn't have to worry about Bloodlust, but against the green-yellow build, which is the most popular build right now, Bloodlust is another card, and Nimbus as well. You gotta play around Nimbus, Bloodlust, and potentially 2 Brolys on board, and Shocking Deathball. The matchup's pretty hard, but it is very winnable. So, round 2, we played against Mono Blue Boo, Yellow Skilless, and Broly GT. So I played against the Broly GT matchup. We all won here. Godstrike Beerus was literally the MVP. Took triple flash to triple strike away both games, and it made up for game 2 not seeing Cronoa. Shout out to Wayne, dude. That guy is so awesome, man. It was awesome to hang out with you this past weekend. He's a Broly GT player. Great set of games. I saw him get in the Gunslinger and a Skilless mirror match, and another great set of games. So shout out to him. Round 3, we saw Janemba, Broly Veggies, and Red Gogeta. So I played against Red Gogeta. We all won this round. Preface is so good against Red, like I said. Is all you got, does nothing against that card. So I'll be able to constantly apply pressure every single turn. And yeah, make some neg every single turn because it's just 15k they don't want to take. And another thing about this matchup, where a little bit of outplay came in. So obviously, if you guys know what the Gogeta deck does, on turn 4 or later, they can drop a battle, you can drop their boss monster, which essentially can punch over your entire board and then attack you for a double strike 35k, I think it is, or 30k. So yeah, so the way I play the matchup, I didn't commit too much to the board so basically every single turn until turn 4, my opponent kept all his energy open, which I think he did fine by doing that. So he wanted to just play negates and play after images and plays that all you got, just to like clear my board and stuff. But I never committed too much to the board. I always kept kind of like board populators in my hand, so that whenever he would decide to tap out for his boss monster play, he would, tap out and then clear my board of only like maybe 2 or 3 battle cards, and then on the following turn I could repopulate the board instantly with like literally probably 5 cards, and then he would be tapped out and he only had after image, and I can play on after image at that point and probably kill him. So yeah, he never really did that because like I never let him be in an optimal situation. I also made sure I sat at 6 life, so that if he ever did drop that Gogeta, that I wouldn't die to it in any swift kind of maneuver. So that was kind of how I played that matchup. So then we had round 4. We were on stream, so you guys can check that out on the ARG live stream. I played against Anthony Barrett from Universe 7. So he was playing Broly Maidens. His teammates were playing Frieza Control in seat A, the red prison deck, and Slug in seat B. So game 1 was definitely a grind against the Broly Maidens deck. He did drop the Maiden boss monster and discard a bunch of my hand, but I was able to pull out the win from there. And game 2, he made a pretty big misplay, which you guys can see on stream, but also he did kind of brick, so he wasn't able to get into his Broly Maiden play. So I kind of won out from there, and it was a great game. So shout out to Anthony, shout out to his channel. So round 5, we came across Vegeta Baby, Yellow Dende, and Janemba. So we actually won. So me and my teammate Marcus in seats A and C, we won our first game by a game loss because actually the Vegeta Baby player and the Janemba player both had Unbreakable in their deck. So that was a little bit of a misstep. And you know, I won game 2 with the Demigod Secret Rare. It's really tough for Janemba to deal with 30k beaters. So that was just a win from there. Round 6 was Super Shenron Aggro, Green Broly, and Yellow Skilless. So this round was pretty unfortunate. We all pretty much came to a draw, except you know, came to some bad time rules against you know, in our A seats. So yeah, basically, long story short, bad time rules, and we ended up taking the loss here. But shout out to that team, Jordan Beard's team, amazing group of guys. They were not trying to slide us in any way. They were really on our side when the judges came over, and you know, it was a great game. Yeah, it was great. Then we had then we ran to top 8. So we ended Swiss. We went into round 6 at 5-0, ended up 5-1. So we got I believe it was 11th place. So we made it into, or sorry, not 11th place. It was like 5th place, I believe. Yeah, we got 5th place. So we got in top 8, and so round 1, top 8. I forgot to jot down all the decks we played against, but I ended up playing against Gogeta Ramp, and I beat it. The nice thing about I beat it 2-0, and the nice thing about this deck is that you know, about the Skilless deck, it's very aggressive. It's very aggro. Because of your big beaters, but it also can play a good long game. So it has a lot of versatility. You know, you can play a more defensive mid-range game, and you can also play an aggressive game, which there's certain matchups you want to be the aggressor, and certain matchups you want to play the slow defensive game. So yeah, that was a great game. Top 4, we ended up losing to the winners of the event. Shout out to Nick, Cam, and Tyler. You know, Nick and Cam being 2 of my local guys. I lost to Green Yellow Broly, which Nick was playing. It was real close. Congrats to him for winning the event again. And that's one of the things in this deck that you know, one of my teammates was siding Killzone. My Vegeta Baby teammate was playing Killzone, which it was really important in his deck, but that was a card that I was missing. That's a card I'm definitely gonna sideboard in the future because Killzone is really important in this deck for beating Green Broly. If you don't have to worry about Bloodless, that's just one less card you gotta play around, you know, when they're trying to stop you from killing them, essentially. So really important to note. And then after top 4, after losing in top 4, we played for 3rd and 4th place. We played against Green Broly, Dende, and Slug. And I won against Slug. The profile is up on the channel right now, so check it out if you're interested in looking at the new, you know, version of Slug with the new support. So that is there for you guys. But yeah, I mean, it was a super fun event. Great time. I loved playing this deck. I went into this event not thinking this deck would be as strong as it was, but this deck, every card in the deck is a straight value. And the deck overperformed incredibly, which I was so happy about, guys. And like I said, I mentioned the changes I'm going to make. Cut the at-all costs, cut the surprise attacks, probably play 1-drop attacker pans because it lets you be more aggressive. So, yeah, guys, with that being said, drop any questions you have below about the deck. I'll definitely get back to you, and I'll definitely answer them. If you guys play this deck, let me know how it goes for you. If you guys are new to the channel, you know, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
You actually sat through all of that and made it to the end? I don't know how you did it, but now that you're here, you might as well hit the subscribe button that's right above me, or maybe check out some of these other videos. I don't know, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. I really don't know how you did it, but good on you.